everything situated. Right. What's up, people? This is the check-in. And as you can see, we got some people up in here tonight. We got, you know what I'm saying, like 3 extras. We're going to talk about straightening love, Scraightin love. Shit might get a little deep. Shit might get a little crazy. But I'm your boy, Heat Detector. And before we do anything, we're going to do like we always say. My boy Jizzle's not in here right now, so I'm going to have to speak his part. But we are not counselors. We are not psychiatrists or therapists. What we are is people, men who have our own journey, who are always looking to better ourselves, always looking to find answers, always looking and seeking knowledge, and always giving the best understanding and the best possible advice that we could give. Again, we're not therapists. We're not none of that shit. Okay? That's Jizzo's part. My part, you already know what it is, man. If you dream of candy canes, cotton candy, and bunny rabbits and all that shit, this is not for you. If you are thin-skinned, this is not for you. If you're an emotional ass motherfucker and you come on this page and you want to block us and do all that other shit, just go somewhere else. You ain't got to sit here and listen to none of it. Okay? Keep that pussy ass shit somewhere else. But on some real shit, we're going to get into some things tonight. Hopefully, my co-host Jizzo jumps in. But in the meantime and in between time, like I said, I'm your boy, Heat Detector. This is the check-in. And let's just go around the way and everybody go ahead and introduce themselves. You, sir?
Yeah, I'm Hussein, official government and Christian. You know, I'm just regular dude, man, trying to make it like everybody else.
Word.
I'm Cam. Wooty woo.
What up? It's Mateo. For those that know me in real life, for those that don't, it don't matter. Doing,
Right.
Doing the usual.
Right. It ain't got to be super somber.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean to interrupt you though. But you know, let's get into some things here. When we talk about, I'm going to say straightening in terms of straightening out or straightening. We're just going to use straightening. So if you don't understand what I'm saying or what we'll be saying, some may say straightening, some may say straightening throughout this whole show. But and I just to go around the room real quick, what do you think about when you think about straightening out love? Anybody?
I mean, if y'all don't mind me,
Go ahead.
I mean, the first thing I think about when I hear
speak up
that
a
is
little
like,
bit, though.
so the first thing I think about when I hear that is like, I think about straightening out myself and getting the things into perspective that I need and what's most important, like, and identifying those things. So for me, I feel like if I can identify those things which are important for me and which are important for my life and the well-being of the people I care about, then I'm loving myself, and that's how I pass that love on. So when I hear straightening out love, I hear straightening out myself.
Word, man. Shout out to that shit. That's good shit. Anybody?
Nah, I feel the same way, man. Honestly, like, yeah, it starts with yourself first and foremost, then moves on to, you know, maybe other people in your life too, making
Yeah.
sure the people you care about, the love with them is straight too.
Yeah.
But mostly yourself first. That's where it starts.
That's where it starts. And you ain't got nothing to say?
I mean, I just feel like for me personally, I'm just still trying to figure it out for real. What straighten out is. I feel like I've like had a false advertisement of what love really is, so I'm still trying to figure that out for myself.
Yeah. Let's get to that. Let's talk about that real quick. Within a relationship, you're in a relationship, whatever it is your partner is, let's not get into specifics or whatever, whoever you're polyamorous or whatever the fuck, whatever that is, whatever your partner is, male or female, he, she, them, they, all that shit, ski mask, all that shit, whatever they go by, whatever that they identify with. What are your thoughts on love within that whole thing about love? I mean, the thing in relationships, you know what I'm saying? Do you think you could be in a relationship and not be in love?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like how love is you're supposed to like establish some type of relationship, like friendship first, right? And then you like end up falling in love with that person. I
Sometimes
mean,
that
I've
shit
heard.
don't happen like that. Sometimes people say, sometimes people say love at first sight. Like I met you, I just knew I fucking loved you. People say that. Some people feel that.
Yeah, that's true. But how often does that happen though?
Probably more often than not.
I don't know about all that. I mean, again, like I was saying before, like I'm still trying to like figure that out um for myself for real. Like I just feel like people that I've been around, things that I've grown up around shit just gave me a false advertisement. I don't really know too many people that have been in a longer relation, like longer than like 20 plus years, besides my great grandpa, may he rest in peace. But other than that, like I haven't really been around people that have really been in those type of relationships.
I mean, you don't have to be in a relationship for no 20 fucking years to be in love or to understand what love is.
That's
The
also
question
true.
really was, can you be in a relationship and not be in love? You know what I'm saying? Oh, shout out to
Yeah.
Jizzo. Jizzo's in the building.
Oh, yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, bad. Peace, peace.
Yeah, yeah. Just turn your mic. Oh, I can turn your mic down a little bit. Well, go ahead. If you got something to say.
Yo, honestly, I
No,
feel like
go ahead.
you could be in love and not in a relationship. To be honest, sometimes people just get in a relationship because it's convenient for them too.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
know, because they get something out of it, or because they need something from that person, or that person brings a certain thing to the table that they need, that they can't go without. Just to be in love or whatever. Some people don't prioritize that whole love stuff. For a relationship. Some people look at other things before they get into a relationship, before like how they feel. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe yeah, a lot. I think that's a possibility for sure.
I mean, I just want to say this real quick, like in talking about the term of like being in a relationship, like that takes many different aspects and perspectives. So like a relationship could take form in a lot of different ways. So yeah, you could be in a relationship and not be in love. It's just all about how you paint that picture to yourself about how that person treats you. Just because I treat you the best in the world doesn't mean I love you. Just means I'm a good dude naturally, probably. So it's like
True.
you can be in these type of situations, and this is how the confusion oftentimes comes in place. And this is just my perspective, right? Not talking about anybody else but myself, but it's like you can find yourself in a situation where you dealing with somebody and you are enamored greatly, right?
Right?
And so infatuated with this person where you feel like everything is like, yeah, I love you because everything is so great. That's the honeymoon phase everybody's talking about, right? 18 months of being with somebody. That's anybody would call that a relationship, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You
Right.
talking about like 18 months?
Right, 18
Yeah.
months, that honeymoon phase, right? So with that being said, like you don't know if you in love yet. Y'all ain't and that's not to speak for everybody because there are those people who meet up and like in the first couple months in their relationship, they actually really go through those foundational things that ground them and say, like, yeah, no, I do love you. Like we like I seen you at your worst, I seen you at your best. Like this
You,
is
you,
what
you think
I'm really rocking with.
so? You think seeing somebody at their worst or seeing somebody at their best is that's how you gauge if you're in love with them or not?
I'm not saying that's how you gauge if you're in love with them, but I'm saying that's definitely a defining factor. It's like what they tell you, like you don't really know somebody until you live with them. Like,
Facts.
yeah, all your kinks and
True.
quirks is cool and cute when I see you when I can get rid of you, when I can walk
Right.
away. But when I can't get rid of you and I gotta go to bed and you in the bed too, you still doing the things I don't like that's what defines.
But isn't
like,
that
can
but
you live
isn't
with
that
person?
compromise? If you love somebody, isn't that compromise? You know what I'm saying? Isn't a relationship when you're in love with somebody you compromise?
I mean, I feel like the masses would say like compromise is a big part of a relationship, but I also feel like in compromising you give up a part of yourself that you may not have wanted to give up just to be with somebody. So in that same aspect, I feel like you should only sacrifice the things that are necessary for you to sacrifice while you can still grow, gain, and learn. If at any point in time you sacrifice and you can't grow, gain, and learn, then
I
you've
didn't say
entered the wrong
sacrifice. I
relationship.
said compromise
That's the same thing to me.
to you.
Compromise and sacrifice to me are the same. They're synonymous. It all depends on how you look at it. Right? When I walk outside, right, I'm not scared of a cat because I'm not a bird. But a bird is scared of a cat. It's all about perspective.
Well, I mean, we got shout out D Nick, man. We got D Nick in the building too as well. Our
Blessings, blessings. What's up, y'all?
hold on, let me get you right over here, homie. Or I might just leave it like this while we'll just leave it like this for now.
What's
Yeah,
going
fuck
on?
it.
How you doing?
Yeah,
What's
what's
up,
up, D
D
Hey,
Nick?
Nick?
What's
bless,
cracking?
bless. What's up,
Peace.
y'all?
So go ahead. I know you've been listening, bro.
Yeah, I've been listening. I've been, getting myself together. I'm back in the office counseling and shit tomorrow. So I was like, man, do I jump in? I was like, oh man, these brothers talking about love and talking about the community and talking about like all of that stuff. So it's dope, man. Peace to y'all, man. It's a good
Word.
Respect,
conversation,
Thank you,
fellas.
bro.
Peace,
respect.
peace.
Respect, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You think it's possible to be in a relationship and not be in love with the motherfucker?
Absolutely. Look, man, I'm biased. I'm a world traveler, man. So I got too many partners that are in that are married in arranged marriages. Like if you I don't know if you know like how
Yeah, I
like I know
understand.
people yeah, I know too many people that are happy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And and all of that type of stuff and they had to learn to love them and you know what I'm saying? I'm black, so I know like real big black historical like social facts and stuff. So were a lot of people move like that. They move in, what made sense at the time. I like you and we learn to love you. We learn to love each other. So that's the thing. Now, if you're putting it in the context like of all of this stuff like now, like, oh, we got
Uh-oh.
date and I got to know if I'm careful and all of this type of stuff. Man, people if people wouldn't be too prideful, if anybody in the alphabet gang taught us anything, the LGBTQIAPP plus community is you can write your own goddamn rules. That ain't just for them. That's for
Right.
all of us to write our own rules. So
Right.
you write your rules and what makes sense.
Right.
So yeah, no, absolutely not.
Hmm. That's interesting. I mean, I just from like just
I mean,
listening.
I'm an American, bro, so I'm not, I don't take it lightly. Like, like we got laws and lineage and all of the way this stuff goes. And so all of that stuff be trick knowledge, like romanticizing everything, because everything ain't gonna be romantic. Everything is compromise and all of this type of stuff and even leverage. We live in a capitalist corporatocracy, so that invades every part of our being unless you're gonna live a pure Rastafari existence where you like in a commune and everything is community group politics within the commune. But most people don't live like that. I'm a Rasta and I don't live like that. You know what I'm saying? So we write the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like we write all of the rules. You don't see these people like, respecting them. You don't see the trans community and the lesbian community and the gay community rewriting the rules. They rewriting the rules. Why the fuck we can't rewrite the rules? We're supposed to rewrite the
Would
rules.
you
We're supposed
say?
to write the
Would you
rules what's
say that?
better for us.
Yeah. Would you say that there is a mental cost with love?
Is there a what?
A mental cost or price to pay for love?
A mental cost or price? I mean, it can be. It doesn't have to be, but there can be. There's a price for everything. Like all of that stuff has a price to it. It
You know,
all has a price.
because we've had this conversation kind of before, and there's a like
Hmm.
you hear the baby mama drama or the baby daddy drama. It's always everybody's always quick to point the finger at who's right or wrong in the relationship. So that goes back to the leverage thing that you're talking about, right? Am I correct in
Yeah.
saying that?
I mean, it could be a piece of it. If you're functioning that way. Like, man, I heard Minister Farrakhan speak one time, and he said some of the illest shit I ever heard. He was like, man, how you're born, like, will dictate a lot of what you go through while you're here. So if you're born a liability to your family, you know what I'm saying, you'll be fighting being a liability to society for you like most of your life.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're born an asset to your family, you know what I'm saying, then you will be an asset in society more than likely. Not to say that you're doomed to be a liability to society, but but like that's something you're going up against. So, everything comes to be perspective. Like it's all perspective. Like, not to say that everybody got to take everything, and I just don't like things being weaponized against me, and I don't recommend allowing things to be weaponized against you. But then there's also perspective of compassion. Like, have compassion. You could look at the chick that got 5 babies by 4 different dudes, is like, oh, she a problem. Or you can look at her as like, damn, that chick ain't give up on love, and she ain't kill no kids.
Yeah,
Man,
well,
respect
that's a
to
tough
her.
pill to swallow there, right there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's in your perspective. You can like, man, she didn't kill no kids, and she didn't give up on love. Respect to her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be with her. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But you can give her respect and be like, dang, she ain't kill no kids.
No, I get
Like,
what
cause
you. I was just
a lot
speaking
of
from
people
my
kill,
perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's a tough one. That's a tough pill to swallow. I don't know. I don't
but
know about.
that's ego. That's
Yeah.
ego. A lot of people
Right.
be like, man, what if, man, it's 4 people right here. I believe Gizzo's around here. Like, I can't see him on this
Right.
screen,
He's there. He's
but
sitting
like,
right there looking like Jizzo.
okay, what up, Gizzo? Man, what if all our pops shot us on the wall?
Say what?
What if all our fathers shot us on the wall?
Oh wow, wow. Well, motherfucker wouldn't
You
be
know what
here.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
What if our mothers is like, I ain't ready for this shit? You know what I'm saying? I'll swallow these motherfuckers, or let me flesh this out or something.
wow. That was heavy.
That's well, this is life is heavy. So
Right.
like y'all asking heavy questions. And
Right.
so perspective, I'm saying it egregiously like this, so it will challenge us to kind of look at things with some compassion and not be afraid to write our rules. What works for us,
Right. Right.
you know,
I
and
mean,
not be prideful and being like, well,
you
I
think
ain't
that's
I
pride?
ain't this way,
Wait,
so
whoa,
I ain't
whoa,
look.
whoa. You think that's prideful if I choose or I look at this woman that has 5 fucking kids and it's prideful for me to say, I can't fuck with that.
That possible.
Well,
Possibly
no,
that's prideful.
I can tell you how I would look at it. I would look at it like
Yeah.
that's a lot of shit for me to deal with, and them kids aren't mine.
Okay.
That would go to me having to discipline them. What if she decides I'm disciplining them too much? What if the fucking baby father or all of them, if there's more, decides I ain't the motherfucker that should be around these fucking kids, or I can't say
Hmm.
shit to these kids? That's a
Right.
lot.
Right.
I'm not finna, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
That
That
is a lot.
shit, huh?
That is a lot.
There,
That
there's
is a
there's
lot.
there's two sides to it, bro. Because then what about the that's kind of like saying, okay, like this girl's gonna have too much problems. She comes with kids. She's got the baggage, but that don't necessarily make the girl that don't have kids the right
I
prize. You know what I'm saying? The
that.
prize, because a chick like that don't give a fuck neither, because she ain't got no responsibility. She'll
I,
drop your ass super
I ain't
quick
saying that.
too.
I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about and looking at
Hmm.
what I see. If I see 5 fucking kids, I'm looking at what. Look, I'm looking at for me. This over here, the pros and the cons, and for me, the cons outweigh the pros.
But
In
Okay.
that,
so
in
That's
that,
so
in that, in that, in that particular situation.
but in that particular situation, your perspective is only one thing, that the baby fathers are going to be negative towards you. What if they don't say nothing to
History
you at
will tell
all?
us.
But
History
it's all
will
it's all
tell us.
perspective too, bro. Because look at the age that we are. You about to try to find a girl that got just one, or
What
like
if she's like?
shit.
If I'm saying hell no right now, that means I was never
Hold on
looking
a
for that.
second. Hold on a second. But what if she's like hella dope though? Like she's a dope
And
ass person.
obviously, other motherfuckers thought she was dope too.
That don't mean
That's
she ain't the
then,
dopest
that
one
then,
doesn't
for
mean she's
you.
the dopest one. Yeah,
Nigga,
then
she could be.
that's a pride thing, Heat. That's a
yeah,
pride
okay,
thing.
all right. I
Cause
mean,
okay, I like what he said. What if she's dope, though? Yo, man, there ain't no bigger cheat code to know if a woman is dope than looking at how her kids is.
okay,
Cause if her kids is dope, then she's got a 75% chance of being dope.
all
Facts,
right,
big facts.
Okay, yeah.
okay. I stand corrected. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that prideful that I can't be, corrected. Shit, I stand corrected. But it wasn't put in that
Hey,
perspective to me. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
I wanted to just talk real quick. I missed out the part. I don't know if y'all quit talking about it, but the part about like time, how much time it takes to fall in love with someone or not or whatever. And just from my personal situation, I think that like it depends on like the amount of time you spend with that person, not necessarily like how long y'all been, let's say, officially together from this day. Because like for me, I had a situation where I ended up spending tons of time off top with my girl, like trips. We went all everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I got like 3 years worth of dating in them fucking 10 months, because most people that just date, they just date, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see the girl once or twice a week, that shit spans for a year. It's just a handful of times. You don't really, but that's what I'm saying. It just depends on how much time you with that person. You
Well, you
could,
talking about some
shit,
niggas,
be with her
some
3
nigga I
months
ain't
and
seen.
you've been with her 90 days straight. That's a
Right.
lot of time.
Like being in a car with somebody taking trips and there's a lot of dead air. There's a lot of time to really like talk about a lot of shit that like you wouldn't probably in a normal setting get a chance to even discuss or talk about. And if you have multiple of those, I think you're right about that. You could probably squeeze or cram 3 months of fucking learning about somebody within a matter of maybe 2 trips. Of like a 10-hour ride
Yeah.
or a 12-hour ride or 13-hour ride. I don't know. But
And
I
I
only
know
say that
people,
because I've been
family
in that
members that
situation.
propose to people after 6 months, 10 months, the fucking pop the question and everything. Like, it's just, some people just ready when they know when they ready. Shout out to Loke for
Ah,
his famous,
oh man.
his famous. You don't got to play devil's advocate. This is my opinion.
No. I'm not
Um,
playing devil's. I'm just saying, like you said, some people just be
yeah,
messy.
you be saying no to everything. This is just my opinion. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
I get your opinion. I respect your opinion, bro. But all I'm saying is like there are people who get into shit and say shit or not say shit, but get into a relationship because of convenience. We talked about that, and they may
Yeah.
even you talked about it before about not to bring up your personal shit, but you did it on here. So your pops telling you that he got into a relationship and got married because that was convenience because he needed and he wanted and she had right.
Does the
No,
cause
not in she had and I didn't talk about that. That was private between you and me. But either way, like it just worked out because he planned it like the future. I guess he was looking like at the age that he was and all of that, and was like, man, this would be a good partner, like a life partner for me. And I think that was like but even back in the day, like in Mexico, you would just fucking get married to somebody and learn, like y'all was saying earlier, and learn how to love them afterwards. Like that shit happened to tons of people. I'm sure a lot of our grandmothers and shit was like that. They just got married and learned how to love. The man had a house, a horse, a fucking whatever, a car. It was just worked out to be with that person because your life would be good, and then you learn to love them afterwards. I guess it's a move. I think we had a whole episode about that, about like why people get married, and for
Yeah.
what some people, fucking get married and then never love the other person. It's just a business relationship. I mean,
but it,
sometimes people say that the whole Jay-Z shit is like that too with Beyonce. Like some people say that like that shit is a business, they might not even fuck around and be in love with each other no more. And it's a business. It just makes sense for them to be together.
but the cause doesn't undercut the outcome. Like at least not to me. Like what causes like, man, I ain't gonna say their name. But
Now look at
I
Pretty
got mad.
Woman.
Huh?
Look at Pretty Woman. You're right. The cause doesn't determine like the outcome because look at Pretty Woman. I don't recall the movie 100%, but yeah, dude picks up a hooker and ends up falling in love with her. I mean, he wasn't expecting to fall in love picking this chick up off the street. It just happened like that.
That's called tricking
I was
out.
just gonna go to some of my Indian homies that like they have like they Hindu as fuck and they got arranged marriages, and so it's like, man, it's cool. And it's like, this is perfect person, all of that, that other people felt was cool for me versus me like picking it out totally by myself, And it's like that's a different culture, like, but man, that shit work, and like and for your folks, Gizzo, like I mean, it's like, man, this would be a good decision. That's a sound decision, and sound like it worked out. You know, like so that's dope.
Well, yeah,
You
no,
know what
this is
I'm
with
saying?
his new wife, not my mom. That was, but this is his new
Okay.
wife. But that's what I meant, like at the age he was at too, because I'm assuming like as you get older in age, your love decisions start becoming different decisions. When you're 20 or 25 or fucking 30, you're probably just fucking or whatever. I don't know, you know what I mean? But like once you get into 45, 50, you probably making them decisions a whole lot different. It ain't about how bad she looks or how, I mean, it could be, but you know, it's just different decisions at different life stages.
But we always was supposed to make these decisions like that, but then we got mesmerized and hypnotized by like romanticism and all of that kind of sucker shit that will leave us open and exposed to get ripped off and taken advantage of or making the wrong decisions. So it's like it's a blend and it's a balance, you know what I'm saying? And it's all perspective. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It doesn't undermine any of that, you know. It just doesn't, like, the cause doesn't undermine it, especially if the effect is good, and you know that's cool.
Right.
What?
So so hold on, hold on.
I think we
You
all
can
been through
interject. You
so
can
much
interject.
that now, even if you notice, like people look at love and kind of like laugh at that. You ever see like the couple that's too lovey dovey and you're just like, yeah, right. Yeah, right, man. He's whatever, you know what I mean? Like people kind of frown about that shit, but I think it's because you've been went through so much fucked up love situations, heartbreaks and shit that you usually see somebody love you and just be like, yeah, right, yeah, all right, you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying me personally, but I've you've seen, hey, get a room or ah, they're too lovey dovey, blah blah, chicks all over them and shit.
So hold on.
I
So let
mean,
me hold on, hold on,
I
hold on.
look at it, I look at them twist,
Let me
but that's
interject
for
for a
different
second.
reasons. I'll go.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, let me interject for 1 second, right? Because I just want to
Yeah,
expound upon both of y'all's perspective, right, with my own shared one, right? And it's like,
yeah, yeah.
in given what both of y'all said, I feel like in any like in any like duality of any kind of relationship, right? People play a role when they get to know each other, right? It's like either you take the role of like a teacher, student, or parent, son, daughter, whatever the fuck it is. It's like y'all play a role into where it's like the benefit of me being around you is that I learn and grow, or that you do what I need you to do, or I'm doing what you need me to do. So it's like in getting to that, y'all have an agreement where it's like, okay, like you have your flaws or whatever, and you got whatever baggage with you, but I see better than that, and I want what I want, and this is the end goal for me. And if we can work through these things, then it's like, all right, I can see you.
Shout out to Nick Garcia. He says, a man that doesn't know who he is. No, who he. That's all it says. A man that doesn't know who he. I don't know what you mean, Nick, but glad to have you in.
Yeah,
Peace, Bob
I
Rock.
think
What
like
up, man? It's Bob Rock.
Oh, that's Bob Rock.
it
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
what up, by Rock? It just depends too, like because reverse the situation we was talking about earlier, the chick with the 4 kids, right? I got 4 kids, and my girlfriend that I've been with now for 10, 11 months, she has no kids, but she knows I'm a high value man. I got goals. I'm not fucking beating her. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's just like it just
That makes
everybody's
you high
different, man.
value,
Like,
nigga, cause you ain't put your hands on her. That makes you high value. I ain't beating her,
no,
so I'm high
I
value.
mean a man. I mean a man with good morals. Yeah, a man that's not
All
physically
right,
abusing her,
let's
that's not fucking her up. He's
right.
not stealing out of her purse. He's not, like them piece of shit motherfuckers that we know that's stealing out your girlfriend's purse and shit.
Yeah,
Like a good man. That's what you know what I'm saying. Is
yeah.
in general
I
like a
got you,
good man. But
Gizzo.
yeah, like shit.
You a
Shit,
higher
nigga. I
bar
got
than that,
Yeah,
Gizzo.
you're a higher
That's a
bar.
low
Yeah, you know.
bar. I feel you, though. I
Nah,
feel
but
you.
you know what? I was just making the general example of like they know
Yeah,
like when
yeah.
you got somebody good, no matter. Okay, yeah, I got 4 kids, but that don't make me like. I'm not gonna have no drama. I don't have baby mamas calling in shit, fighting my girl. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like it's normal, and so that's why I think I would, if I was in this situation, not look at a girl with 4 kids and automatically be like, yeah, that's not gonna work. That shit. You're right, it could be drama, but I won't just base it off that initially. I knew a girl that was dating a dude, and she straight up lied to him about having kids and told dude that the kid that was at the house was her little sister
Oh, she.
and shit, bro. And it was fucked up because it all spilled in front of everybody by accident because someone said, well, hey Anna, where's your daughter at? And dude looked at her like, what? And that shit came out, you know what I mean? But I don't know how long she was gonna try to run that fucking game. This isn't my kid, this is my little sister. But she probably thought
But,
that dude was not gonna want to fuck with her if he knew that she had kids already. But
but that's
do you
dope
really
because
want
now he
somebody like
learned.
that? You
Look
don't
how
want
quick,
nobody.
look how easily he learned she was a liar. Like that's dope.
Yeah,
Like I don't know, man. Like we gotta recalibrate our perspective. Of like, man, he just found out like that this broad was a liar. You know what I'm saying? And will lie about big stuff. Will have a petty lie about something big like that. Like it was like I said, man, it's actually the ultimate cheat code. If you want to be real about it, you can really tell somebody how ain't shit a person is by the way they raise their kids.
Facts.
Or at
she
least
wasn't.
how
Yeah,
they decisions, like you know what I'm saying?
she wasn't.
She
She
lied
wasn't
about it, bro.
straightening out her love. That was the problem. She wasn't straightening out her
Straightening it out.
love,
She wasn't straightening
and had
shit
to.
out.
It wasn't straightening shit out. But that goes to show you, like, man, what else was going on in her head that she was just so desperate for the love that she was willing to lie about birthing a whole child. That ain't no like
That's not a
little
simple
shit,
ass
man. It's so
lie. That's
yeah,
not
that's
no baby
crazy.
lie.
Yeah,
That's not a white
that's
lie.
wild, man. That's wild.
But it worked out for the best, right? Because at least he found
Yeah, it's
out
the
off
win.
top that she was willing to lie that bad, like that bad. Like she wanted that dude that bad that she was willing to lie about having a kid. And it's like that was gonna come to a head at some point anyway, because how long was that gonna go? The kid was gonna get older and start talking and calling her mom.
Mom.
I don't know what
Or she
shit.
just lie again. She'll lie on top of that and be like, "Oh, he's been with me so long already. Just start calling me mom. I don't need tripping." You know what I'm
So that
saying?
was a win. That was an all around win.
That was a win for him. And you know what, bro?
And
Motherfuckers
for
are suckers
her.
because he still went and had kids with her anyway.
Ah,
Uh,
god
so it was just like whatever, but that goes to, I don't know, man. I think,
damn.
yeah, I don't think there's no code, there's no book to this shit, man. Motherfuckers walking around and figuring this shit out as we go with love and with all of that.
Yeah.
Loke, and I tried to say it earlier, but I got cut off. Loke famously says that you can pick your player off top knowing 100% that you got to be your number one player and there's all the red flags. You can make the 100% sound decision to pick the right woman from the beginning. And I'm like, that's bullshit, bro. You can't pick that. You could think she's good. Well, Christian said 18 months, right? Shit, what about if 18 months you find out this, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, there's no formula to it. Everybody just goes
There's
their own
totally
route.
I disagree with you on this though,
I
Gills. There's
disagree with that
totally
too.
a
Yeah, I
formula,
that too.
but you can rewrite the rules the way you want. You can
Yeah.
rewrite the formula. It's ever evolving. So you
Well,
get
well,
but
is the
there's
formula
formulas.
proximity, location?
Pro,
I forgot the rest of the
no,
words. Is that
proximity
is
is
that the
location.
formula?
There's
Values,
many different
morals,
aspects to it.
proximity, or addictions.
There's
That
Value.
ain't the formula.
there's
It's
more
not
no
that
there's
standard. It's
way
not
more
that
aspect
standard.
to it than that. It's like you got to factor in like a whole bunch of different things in which makes you look at a person a certain type of way or what you will or would not deal with from an individual. There's a lot of
Yeah,
different things.
that's a good tool, Nick. I think that's a good tool to use. But to say that like this is the formula, and if you follow this leads to love or does not lead to love, I don't know if
I didn't say
it's a
that. I said
tool.
that's how you choose a mate. I never said that this leads to love. I said love is developed. I said
But we
that's
just
how
said
you
about
choose
picking the
a
right
mate.
person. We said
Huh?
picking the right person. You said picking the right person by using
Picking
this
a mate.
formula.
Picking a mate.
Picking a mate. You
Yeah.
pick a mate based on those principles, your values, your morals, your proximity, or your addictions. That's
And then
how people
and then
choose a
on
mate.
19th month she goes crazy. So I'm just saying,
Huh?
even if you do, I'm just saying, even if you do pick those things and you pick your mate like that in the on the 19th month, and I'm using that as an example, because Christian said
Hmm.
18 months. On the 19th month, you find out she's been keeping secrets or she's crazy or whatever the case is. Like I still don't think you could. There's no right way to pick it. You just
Yeah, but
literally don't know.
necessarily
You
that
never
doesn't
know.
necessarily mean that you're not going to be in love with that person or stop being with that person if she's fucking crazy. I'm this is just from my own like personal shit. I was in a relationship with a woman that for 11 years I have 3 kids with her. All my kids are with her, and she was
Bless.
batshit crazy, and you know what I'm saying. And I still rode with her for a fucking 11 years, dog. So that doesn't really mean shit for real. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and like I said earlier, like I don't even know the right meaning of love because like I said, I feel like I've learned the wrong tools of like finding love and shit, and that's probably why I've been in a lot of toxic relationships. But
Res- res- Respectfully, brother, if you comfortable, why did you choose to be with her?
Well, first and foremost, before I, fell in love with her, like we were like really good friends, and
Mm-hmm.
and then we ended up, you know, hanging out for a weekend. She stayed with me out in Reading, and we ended up, doing some things. And I don't know, like I
You
felt
got her pregnant.
no, I didn't get her
Oh,
pregnant
okay.
at that point. We're like 18 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt like a spark. I felt like something was like different about her. Like I couldn't really pin it at that point. You know what I mean? Like for me, like she's a brilliant person. Like she's really smart. She's been a straight
Mm-hmm.
A student her whole life. Really smart, and that really attracted me to her in a way. But we ended up actually dating like 2 years after that, and then she ended up being pregnant, and things just started changing a little bit. Like we started like the things that we were doing before. She started like not really being like down for it and wanted me to change like me, and I guess that kind of like did some kind of like pushback with our relationship because I was like, well, I mean, you loved me for who I was before and what I was before. Like, why I have to do these other things? Why do I have to like stop hanging out with friends and stuff? But I to the point where I still had like kids with her. Like, I wanted to be there for my
Do
children.
you
Like,
think you stayed out of obligation? That you felt an obligation to stay?
well,
Because that
man,
happens a lot. That happens a lot.
I'm about to get real personal.
That happens a lot. That
I'm
happens
about,
a lot
Well,
in
I'm about to get
relationships.
real personal real quick. So, I didn't grow. I mean, I didn't grow around my mom or my dad.
mm-hmm.
And so I always told myself when I do have children, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to keep me and their mom together in the house. And like, because I had that opportunity to have my parents in the house. So I wanted to try to do everything I could to have that like picture perfect, you know, family like I wanted to picture things when I was younger. So that's
So
that's basically why I did that.
so the issue with you and her at that time, like from what you just said, you correct me if I'm wrong, please, and stop me if I'm
Yeah,
out of
you're good.
line. Yeah, you said that y'all you admired her and all of this. She was very intelligent. Everything was cool. Y'all have fun. Y'all got to it. Then you had a kid, and then her priorities kind of shifted, right?
Yeah. It wasn't
All right,
like
her
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm listening.
no, I'm
I'm
no
listening to
her
what you said.
priority. I'm
Yeah.
I'm keeping it general, so you don't have to
Yeah.
get super personal.
That's okay.
Like, so her priorities shifted. You know, aka her values shifted. You know what I'm saying? And then you guys weren't aligned. You were and then you're there for obligation because your value structure is like, I'm gonna ride this out, and then I kept pumping babies out with us. So I'm ride this out. Because I ain't I'm gonna be there for them and see all of that good stuff. And but things were because your values weren't aligned. Whatever it was, your values were not aligned, you know. And what got you to that point was your addiction to, how, not saying you were sprung or anything, but y'all addiction to each other, how y'all chemistry was. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, what you're undoing, as you I'm paraphrasing what you say, your values weren't aligned. That's what I'm talking about, Gizzo. I'm talking about that. It's not just to say, well, she just went back shit crazy. I don't know her to say that. And he's being respectful on her, but he's like, man, he clearly had more kids with her. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't that crazy. And there was something else going on, but the values weren't aligned. And it was, like, but you used to this person, you know this person, you got a kid with this person, then you have another kid with this person, you're addicted to this person, you've developed love, y'all values ain't aligned, but you've been with this person for like a couple of kids at this point. So you got love with him before you finally like, yo, our shit just ain't clicking and we split. You know,
Mhm.
that's how I'm interpreting how he's described that situation. That's why I say values, morals, proximity, or addictions.
Right.
That's why I say it like that. I say it because we always romanticize this shit, and that be our undoing.
Right.
That be our undoing. And we don't look at things objectively. We don't look at the structure. We don't look at how that goes. You know, we even ridicule sometimes the elders that when they loved ones die after, 40 something years and they like, man, I'm just marry this chick because I just need companionship. I need this. I need someone to call. I need someone to give power of attorney to. My kids may be irresponsible, so I need this chick that she's down. Like, like they're more structured, and it's like, it's not really romantic. It's not really this, and that, but they're not living on romance at that point.
Right.
They're living purely on the structure of
Right.
how to make this work.
Real quick,
And
shout out to Nick Garcia again, aka Bob Rock. He said, "Love is exclusive and a stranger to the unwilling." Yeah, that's kind of deep, but yeah, I wanted to throw that out there because it's been sitting up here for a minute. So, and he had said it for me. I just wanted to make sure I got that. Shout out to Bob Rock.
yeah,
But yeah, like when you, man, because a lot. If we think about that, the addiction and proximity and all of those things, when we think about, if you really begin to sit back and kind of unravel those things, a lot of that shit is shit. Period. Like, because I know that I've dealt with a lot of abandonment issues, and that had fucked me up in relationships and fucked me up really bad because the thought of somebody leaving would tear me a fucking apart. Regardless if I was right or wrong in the situation, it would literally tear me the fuck apart. But that was, I had a lot of I still have a lot of abandonment issues because of shit that went on in my life at a very young age, of my very formidable years of you know, thinking and understanding shit. You know, what is it like what is it like? I don't know, two to six or some shit like that. The real formidable years of processing information and
right, yeah, yeah.
cognitive thinking and shit like that. Yeah, but I'm
I
not
didn't
blaming
say
a lot of that
younger.
shit
Yeah.
for being, as in being an adult, but I know that it played a big part in a lot of fucked up relationships that I had, because that also too was an addiction, so to speak, if you really want to unravel that as well. But I think just in my own thought process and how I see shit, uh, a lot is, we talked about it in the very beginning of the show, about loving yourself, because it's not, and I talk about me not drinking and shit a lot on the show and say things about that because I think it's important, because I've dealt with a lot of shit, and then not drinking, having to, this shit was like right barely, the surface, just right underneath the surface, just sitting there waiting. And then when I stopped drinking, instead of covering and masking all that shit just kind of bubbled the fuck over. And then having to deal with all that shit, like, it felt like an instant, but it wasn't an instant. It was, it was a buildup. But, you know, in a relationship, there's a lot of that shit that, excuse me, a lot of that shit that happens, but recognizing let me digress real quick. Recognizing and loving yourself. I'm about to cough again. God damn it. And loving yourself is a big part of it, because I can't really offer anything to anybody from a love standpoint if I don't love myself. In my opinion, if I don't love myself, you know what I mean, and knowing who I am before I, really, not before, but just thinking about love right now, because a lot of shit I'm beginning to really understand what love is now. You know what I mean, and what it really means. Because I can tell a motherfucker I love him. You know what I'm saying? But I think sometimes we say that shit, and we're just like, we're saying it out of like convenience, or out of like shit, maybe even sometimes spite. You know what I mean? But
Well,
go ahead.
question for everybody. Like, how do you all pick a mate? Because I'm assuming that everybody is like on the conventional like way of, because nobody has courtship. So how do you date a girlfriend with the potential of being like a serious mate? What are you looking for in dating?
Shit. Don't all jump on it.
Oh
Oh,
shit! I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and say something like for me, I agree with a lot of what you said about those foundational things and moving forward in a relationship, right? Those generalistic perspectives of how to find somebody or eliminate potential people that don't fit my criteria of what's going on,
Mhm.
right? So for
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
there was a difference between like me getting home from prison after doing 8 years and finding somebody versus before I went into prison trying to find somebody, right?
Right,
And
right, right.
with those two perspectives being shared, it was like my process of finding somebody, which I kind of gave brevity about earlier, was like I give every relationship I give into an 18-month period. I want to get through that honeymoon phase of like whether I feel like I'm super infatuated in love or I'm giving you that space to be that way and figure out what you want to do based off my quirks, my needs, my necessities, my whatever the fuck that you want to deal with, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and then the process of figuring that out, like I oftentimes choose to live with that person or have them live with me. So then I can then learn you based off of how we would live every day if we chose to do this every day forever, whether we have that paper that says we married or not.
Hmm.
And so that's kind
Right.
of like my process because then that gives me insight to say like, well, this is what you do under these situations that I wouldn't have seen if we didn't live together. Like this is how you handle pressure under
So you
bills.
jump directly into moving
I
in.
feel like there is no jumping directly into it. It's like if you want to take somebody serious, put yourself in those serious situations that you would have to deal with on a regular basis every day of your life if you
You
chose to be with
don't
that
think that
person.
shit a little
And
drastic?
and temporary and nah, and I feel like you should give those things the opportunities like as they come, not forcefully, but like
Right.
Right, right.
as they come up, appreciate and acknowledge and understand every circumstance as it comes, give it its space, and then approach it how you need to figure out what's best for you in the direction you're trying to go in is what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So with that being
Right.
said, that's kind of how I feel out each person I'm dealing with to figure out if you fit me based off how much I know myself and where I want to go in life. Because if I'm not in the right space and I'm going in the wrong direction, I'm going to make bad decisions, which leads me to loving somebody who's going to help me in those bad decisions.
Uh,
You feel what I'm saying? So for
no,
me,
I hear you.
yeah. So for me, that's kind of like my process without trying to take the stage, but like
Real quick, Nick Garcia, aka Bob Rock. Once again, he says romantic love is often transient, subject to change, evolve over time as individuals and circumstances transform. Okay, I'm with that. Anybody? Nobody? What?
nah, I feel like my process like up until this point, cause who knows, like what happens in the future and how like I'm gonna keep approaching this, thing called love and relationships or whatever. My process before was like there has to be like a little certain thing that clicks from the jump for me to even be interested in getting to know you. So
Right.
it's it's also like how we said before, like it's not even a length of time all the time, it's the quality of time. So I feel like that has a lot to do with it too. But also to take that step into doing something like marriage and having a commitment like that's taken seriously, like yeah, you have to get to know that person through all different circumstances of life like that, like when they're at the best times and when they're at the worst times, when shit hits the fan, is there like and what you're willing to tolerate too for a person,
Or compromise?
yeah, compromise, it just
Would
it
you be willing
depends.
to compromise something if a person does something that irritates the dog shit out of you every day?
Yeah,
You think so?
I think that's part of love. You know,
Mm.
that's part of loving somebody is willing to deal with shit that you ain't willing to deal with from nobody else type of thing. But that certain person has a certain um essence to them where it's like, yo, I'm willing to look past this shit. Like especially if it may be something that bothers you, but not something that happens to the point where it's like, oh, it's bugging you every day.
Like a boundary.
Yeah, 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 exactly. So
Yeah, that usually comes when the steak is worth the sizzle.
Right.
Like if they're worth that annoying shit, if then they worth it. If they not, they not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like, no,
that's why I feel
agree.
like a lot of my process necessitates actualizes those things for y'all to deal with them and figure out does that is you being stressed out about a bill that wouldn't stress me out. Can I endure that? because everybody's way of dealing with stress isn't always acceptable to everybody else.
True.
And I feel like those are the things that make it important in dealing with or figuring out whether you want to be with that person, like what he was just saying.
Yeah, and that's like how we go back to like making sure you love you first, so you're aware of like what you're willing to to deal with when it comes to having another person come into your life, and they're essentially bringing an element to your way of life, your lifestyle. You want them to be an improvement, not
Is the steak worth the sizzle?
Yeah,
yeah,
that goes
facts.
back to the point I was trying to make about dyadic relationships. When two people get with each other, like y'all take y'all role of like who's gonna do what and how much it benefits each other. Y'all figure that out however y'all figure that out based off of your morals, societal needs, whatever family pressures, like you said, whatever addictions, whatever that is, y'all figure that out together. But a lot of these things happen before you even realize they happen. And then, like you said earlier, you fall infatuated with the socialization of what love should be or look like. And oftentimes you lose yourself in that you don't even realize you don't even like this person for real until something ugly happens.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. And you get to write the rules. We get to write the rules.
Yeah, facts.
We get to write the rules. It's dudes out there turning into girls. And we can't write the rules? That's crazy to think you can't write the rules.
Right.
We can totally rewrite the rules.
He says dudes turning into girls,
No, facts though.
and we can't write the rule. That's crazy.
Y'all, that's silly to
That's
that's that
lunacy. That's
like,
fucking
man.
complete lunacy. That's mental as fuck. But
What's
that's that.
mental is us thinking that we can't write the rules. We
That's
can't
what I'm
write our
saying.
own.
That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But there, there's a lot of Walking Dead out there. There's a lot of people out there. That's why sometimes that's why I say that's why like even something as rudimentary as it may seem, this show right now and the topic right now, there's somebody that needs to hear this shit. There's definitely somebody that needs to hear this shit. If it ain't one of us sitting here, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I just want to
Yeah.
say my ear is closer to my mouth, so I'm always speaking to myself first.
Right. Facts.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
my
2
pop.
ears.
I was telling my pops about like I always usually will talk to him about like relationships or whatever, and he just said one day, man, everybody's gonna have something fucked up with them. Everybody's got. You just have to decide in your life: are you able to put up with though? Are you able to deal with those things? You might be with a girl that does crazy off the wall shit. You decide if you could deal with that or not. Does the like Nick said, is it worth the sizzle pretty much? And so, yeah, man, I don't think you'll ever find someone as, for anyone listening, like, man, I'm gonna find me to, because nowadays there's a lot of requirements and shit like that. Like if you go look at like dating profiles from what I remember how they were, and some of the first things they say is like the requirements that you have to meet before this person will date you.
That's
So it'll say
delusional. That
shit
shit is
like,
delusional.
needs to be, must be heavy set over 200, must be this, must be that, must have this. So I
That
don't know.
shit's mad
There's a
delusional.
lot of require. Is that love? Is that person gonna find love once she meets all those requirements? Because she might find all that shit and do to just be, playing her left and right. Like
But
it's
maybe
crazy.
though,
Well,
it all goes back to perspective because maybe that's how somebody identifies love. Maybe because you may not agree to what he was saying about his foreign friends about how they get in these these arranged marriages. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a way you would go about finding love, but they find love on their own eventually, or maybe they don't. But it's all about how
They
you look
learn
at it, how
love.
you perceive it.
Right.
I always tell
that,
people when I'm talking with them about serious shit like in their life, I'll give my advice, but I typically always end it with, man, look, only you know, brother.
Right.
Only you know. Whoever I'm talking to, only you know what's best for you, because I could sit here and say all this shit. I could sit here, you should have done this to pick whatever it is. And only you know. You know if you need to get out of there. You know what's the best advice, because everybody could just come and blah, 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 in your face about what they think you should do. Only you know.
Right.
Nobody knows what happens behind closed doors. You got to make them decisions on your own and see if you want your steak to sizzle or not.
I was telling somebody today, basically the same damn thing. I was saying, you know you better than anybody else does. So you already know what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and how to do it. You already know. You know you better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So you also know what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a matter of what we talk about all the time, it's a matter of execution. You know what I mean? You might not be able to deal with it, or you don't want to deal with it, but you're not executing that. You're just dealing with it for whatever the fucking reasons are, addiction or whatever fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people treat you how you allow them to, basically. You
Right.
know.
Ain't nobody gonna do nothing to you you don't allow them to do. You know what I'm saying? I could walk up to
I
Jizzle
I
right now and
remember
put
telling.
my
Oh my
hands in his
bad.
pockets and take his fucking money. And if he allows me to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it again. And I'm gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? If a motherfucker allow you to do something, they gonna fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? If you in a relationship and you're constantly doing something to somebody and you're just sitting there and you're allowing that shit to happen, man, you can't blame nobody but yourself, really. Because a motherfucker is gonna do what they're gonna do. If you know, a lot of people are just plain outright opportunists. Just
Yeah, and you know what? If man, if this love that we're talking about, if for anybody ever in in a situation, if that shit's affecting like who you are as a person separately, like artistically, blocking you from blessings and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because we know somebody personally like that, and that situation with their significant other is essentially blocking blessings and opportunities that could be coming to this person. So it's like I wish sometimes they think about it like, all right, I'm in love, but this shit is making me change everything I am artistically. Somebody just told me the other day they not even writing songs the same way because the last time their boyfriend or whoever questioned them about like the lyrics and was like, oh, what about like this lyric? And so now they writing music different. I'm like, you see, that shit ain't, that's not love. That's not worth it. There ain't no sizzling steak there. If I got to
that's
change who I am
control. That's
artistically,
control. That's control. But real quick in the comments, Latoya Burton says, if a nigga stick with you with no likes, he love you, and y'all not in a relationship, it's something.
Wait,
Hey,
say that again.
I just said the other day somebody posted a thing and said, "What's the first thing that that makes you lose interest in a girl?" And it was a joke, but I said that when I try to use their HBO Max and it says subscription not verified, please call 1-800 blah blah blah. So but that was a joke. But that's like some motherfuckers move like that, man. If they see that something not right, like me personally, and to answer your question, D Nick, I didn't get to answer your question about earlier, like for me picking somebody or gonna pick like a mate, one thing I always started off with is what you see at first. The first thing that you see. If if she driving down Fullerton playing ski with her ratchet ass friends popping bottles all day, then I already know that's probably live your life, baby. But that's not something I want to rock with. I can't. I'm not. Maybe for one. It's not something I'm gonna rock with. I know I can't make this girl into no housewife. None of that bullshit.
That's not
So
true.
first thing,
Please, Keely.
shout out to Ski best rap song of 2023, motherfuckers. But but yeah, like things like that. Like I'll start at the
That's
shell.
the
The first
sexy
thing you see,
red
because
chick, right? That's the sexy red chick.
Yeah.
hey, yeah, people will tell you who they are or show you their fucking true colors. It's up to you if you're gonna believe that shit or not.
Or
So when I
recognize
see
it.
their shut or
Or
recognize
recognize
it, so I'll
Nah,
go off of I'll go off of the
'cause-
shell at first, and then after that, once I see that there's somebody I'm willing to accept into my life or let them in, and then that's when you go about the other things. Sometimes you want to ask questions and shit. You might think of something and be like, man, I wonder what that person thinks about it, and you fuck around and ask them and find out they support a whole crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you never really know, but yeah,
I mean,
it takes
yeah,
time, bro. It takes time.
there's a spark, and there's a spark. That's why I asked everybody about like what how do you date someone because the love shit that gets developed. Like we always like, I'm gonna fall in love with this. That's cool if you one of them people that is just like that, but that's so it's developed, and I guess for some people it develops fast if in their mind you checked all the boxes so they can just jump right in, you know what I'm saying, and job bless. But I like, for me, I just need to see what you made of. Like, can I have a good conversation with? I remember a long time ago, my son was just like, how can he was asking me about how to talk to girls. How
Mhm.
do you talk to girls? And I was like, dude, you know, if you can't have a conversation with her, no matter how fine she is, it's not worth dating. You know, like you gotta be able to have a conversation. Cause even like with, he a video game like nerd. He's really into that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. His old man do video game music, so whatever. But it's like, man, I'm like, if you do that, you gotta be able to have a conversation with him, and then everything else will be easy, at
Mm.
least in terms of learning if she with me or against me. We can have a conversation, and that's like Gizzle. Obviously, if you're having a conversation, then the superficial shit is out the way. You're attracted to her, she's attracted to you. Then you're getting to know him. Then even deeper, like you're going on dates. You're going on dates to have adventures, like to see what they're made of. You take them to a public place, how you act in public, what you about, how are you in a, hope life get the life, and then we get in a weird hostile situation, and I get to see how you handle this shit.
Right,
Eventually, we
right.
gonna have to sit with the family. How does my family get along with you? How do I get along with your family?
Right.
All of these things are opportunities to, like see, like there are opportunities to learn. I used to talk. I had a Muslim home. She don't mind me saying her name. Isan. Shout out to Isan. I had a Muslim homegirl named Isan. Still got a Muslim. She was still my homegirl. And I used to, back in the day, I used to clown her. I was like, y'all don't. She was like, I'm Muslim. I don't date. We court. We don't fucking date. That's for y'all motherfuckers to do shit like she's. I was like, man, you don't even know who you. I'm being all egotistical. Like, you don't even know who you being with and all this. She was like, man, why would I? Y'all are crazy. Y'all put more into a job application with a resume and all of this, and then applying to a job. You put more into a job application than someone that you trying to spend your life with.
Mm.
That's why I
You know.
won't date, or when I was dating, I wouldn't date under 25. And I always said that shit. Like, fuck that shit. Like, I mean,
But
maybe,
she
you know what I'm
didn't. She
saying? Like,
don't
but
date.
not really.
She doesn't date.
Not really,
I mean,
because they
she's
fucking
married now.
dumb. They dumb and ain't got nothing to talk about. Like, I'm not trying to chill with. Put it this way: if you don't know, like the Empire commercial, you too young, baby. Like, if you ain't seen Blood In, Blood Out, I don't know. Like, it's fuck
Oh,
that.
That's your metric. That's
yeah,
your
I was
metric.
about to say.
And she better know Blood In. Yeah, she better know Blood In or Blood Out. That's part of
She
my
better know
metric,
blood
bro.
in and
That's
blood out. Yeah, he right.
if
He
she don't
right.
know.
He right because even me and him and our friendship, I think he was about to cut me off a couple times. He thought I didn't know that movie.
Real quick. That's what I'm
His
saying.
metric
Like,
is fucked up.
Man, I seen that shit like twice in my life.
hey, watch. Hey, Mateo, have you watched Blood In, Blood Out?
Not in a long time, but I know
No,
what.
but you know what I'm saying.
He
No, but
cut me
yeah, no,
off.
it was just. But
He cut me
I
off.
was just saying that as a
He
joke to
cut me
say
off.
about
If
like
you was a
dating under
chick, if you
25
was a
because you
chick,
know
it'd be over
they
with.
ain't
If
been
you was a
through
chick,
no
it's
shit.
over with.
Nah, but like, what about this question though? Like, should love be simple or is it complex?
I don't know. Is love blind?
Mm.
Is love
Love is
blind?
developed. It's developed. So if you
But is it
blindly
blind? You didn't
developing
answer
some
that.
shit,
That's not the answer to the question. Is do you believe that love is blind? That love can be blind?
if you're
Blind to
get
what?
down for picking a mate, then yeah, it can be blind, I guess, because people be developing love with motherfuckers they don't even know. So
Let's say she
it
But
can be
if it's
let's
blind.
blind,
say let's
Nick,
say
if it's blind, that negates the whole process that we talked
all
about.
right.
It
Let's say
negates
No,
all of that.
no, because you attributed love. No, I totally disagree. Just you attributed in love to love being your process, but love is developed. I don't believe. I believe love is developed. So if you don't have a process, if you have a blind ass process, then it's blind
oh,
because you're developing some shit
That's
that you
the
don't even
whole
know what you
point.
develop.
right. For instance, if you have a disdain for heavyweight BBLs or BBWs, not BBLs, is it BBL, BBWs? You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know. BBWs? I know what
Yeah.
BBW is. What is BBLs? I don't know what that is.
Big ass bitch. If she big as a fucking
He's
house.
talking about Brazilian butt
No,
lifts.
no, 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 no. I mean, if she's big as a goddamn house, right? But
Hmm.
you don't like big chicks, but you
Hmm.
fell in love with her. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
because if you don't like big chicks, you're not gonna give her a chance. We choose who we want to be with. We choose what we like. We have choice in
That's
this.
what I'm saying. I
If
mean,
you
love is blind. I mean, I'm
But
just
if I don't,
asking
no,
a
if I
it's
don't,
not.
question.
if
You
I don't like big
choosing.
chicks, how am I even in the situation to fall in love with her? If I don't
Maybe you
like
was
big
That's
chicks,
having
I'm
what
not
I'm
around
saying.
her.
Thank you. Thank
Maybe you
you.
was having a conversation with her like he was talking
What,
about.
Like we
Getting
at work and
catfish.
I have to talk to her at work. I'm gonna be professional. I'm not gonna sit
No,
here and
I'm
try to
saying
fall
like
in love with you.
I'm saying like say she was your friend, right?
How she my friend if I
Okay.
don't like big chicks?
Because
What?
you ain't dating her.
But people get catfish all the time, so I mean,
Catfishing is a whole different
That's a
subject.
whole different
That's
shit.
a whole
Yeah.
different topic.
Cause ain't
Nah,
nobody
that's
falling
a
in love
false
with a big ass bitch
equivalency.
in a
Nah,
catfish. No
all
different.
right. Love is not blind unless you blindly developing some crazy shit. But love
Thank
is not
you.
blind.
Thank you.
I just
Love
asked.
is not blind.
I'm just asked. Maybe
To me,
like I said.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too like rigid and antiquated. I don't like, man. When people are like, well, you can't choose who you fall in love with. Hell, you say, you can't choose who you fall in love with. Who said? Who came up with that crazy shit? You can choose who you fall in love with.
Commercials.
I don't believe in none of
You
that.
can you control love? You know, can you control it? Like sometimes that shit, people just doing it for the rock. I believe it was a famous person by the name of Meatloaf that said, "And I would do anything for love,"
That's called
you
a song.
know, but I won't do that. So it's like, you know, boundaries. What are you willing to accept? You know,
Yeah.
does love drive you crazy? You can't control this shit. Like,
Well, clearly his values is like, I'll do anything for love except for one thing. If you only got one anti thing, then like I don't pick. This is what I'm saying. 'Cause I don't pick a date or pick a mate based on my addictions. So like whatever I'm into or get addicted to, I'm not picking a mate off of that. You know what I'm saying? So if because then I could get addicted to him, and then it's like, oh fuck, I'm in a shitty situation. I'm kind of sprung on this chick, and da 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 da. But it's a whole thing. No, I'm not. We choose things. Everybody act like we just whimsical weirdos that just don't have any choices in the matter. Like where do they tell us this stuff? Where we get this stuff from? This is crazy.
I feel like it really all boils down to self-awareness. Right? If you're not self-aware and you can't actualize the things you want, you always gonna chase those rabbit holes, and whatever you find down there, you're gonna think that's love or a potential opportunity for that.
loving yourself, man. Loving yourself first.
Shout out E. Johnson. What up? What up? That's our most loyalist of the loyal subscribers and followers, man. He's been on from the very beginning.
you know, one of the things, and I forgot to mention that I said earlier, like within the whole like dating, like you know, on the apps and all of that shit. One of the things I came across a lot was at the end of their thing, it would say, "And you must come healed already." That was a
Well,
big thing that
yeah.
you must come healed already. And
With that
what
being said, you think that person's fucking healed? They are mightier than holier than
apparently they
thou?
are if they're demanding that you
That's
be healed. But
crazy.
you know, I think my response to that is like, dude, you can't come in perfect to situations. There's people that are, you know,
They
still
didn't ask for
working on each
perfect. They
other.
asked healed. They asked for healed. They
I
didn't
thought
ask for
Yeah.
perfect. They asked for healed.
But just because that person's asking for healed doesn't mean they're healed. They don't have
facts.
their own traumas that they about to bring. They don't want to deal with yours. That's why they asking for healed.
They didn't say that on the application, right? It's
But
like
who says that about application? When you go for a job, you don't say, "Look, I'll do the job, but I'm lazy. I ain't gonna come every day." You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. When you do the application, when you meet somebody, you always put your best foot forward. You always give them the best of the best of the best.
18 months.
18 months of the best of the best of the best.
I don't know, bro. I don't know, cause if you got one of them remote jobs, you know you might be logging on like if you an IT person working from home, you might be logging on handling business, answering phone calls in your underwear. So you might be like depending on what job you applying for.
Facts. He said, depending on what job you're applying for. Yeah, I
Hey,
know a lot of
let me ask some. What's the earliest? What's the
you applying
quickest?
for the
And
part-time brother
this
position.
just off of what Christian said earlier. But what's the quickest that y'all done? And this goes to everybody. If y'all have, what's the soonest that you ever moved in with somebody?
Shit.
Christian, you go
2
first, bro, since
months.
you're the one that
2
brought it
months.
up.
2 months.
Nah, I don't feel
2
bad.
months.
Mine was like 4, I think.
Because I feel like a part of my process by saying that 2 months, I just want to justify why I said 2 months, right? So, and part of my process when I'm meeting somebody and I'm dating you, like he said earlier, we're going through experiences. So it's not like we're gonna go have some coffee. Yeah, that's because I want to have like a bare situation where we can't hide behind nothing. We just talking and getting to know each other, right? That's my intellectual interaction with you, right? Then we go on doing shit like maybe we'll go to a cabin. I want to see how you handle being away from your natural environment where you feel comfortable. Who are you when you're not comfortable? You know, let's get to know each other. Let's figure out what's what. So I figure about how you set these situations up leading to the 2 months dictates whether you can or cannot move in it. And like I said, it's all about self-awareness, what you want, knowing yourself and loving yourself and having those goals. So I feel like with those things being present in mind, if you set up your dates appropriately, like with your Muslim friend, right? Because I'm Muslim, right? You setting up
Oh,
those things
bless.
appropriately, you then begin to know somebody without having to do those things which are deemed like social requirements or norms. Oh, we ain't kissed yet. Oh, we ain't had sex yet. Oh, you trying to do all these? You ain't bought me nothing yet. Like these are not ways you get to know somebody. These are ways you exploit and manipulate people. So if you set your situations up in where as though you stripping the bare minimums, you can't hide behind your money. She can't hide behind her money. Let's get to know each other.
Right.
Then that's why I justify and say 2 months, and I can move in with you because by then, if I've stuck with you for 2 months and I'm ready to move in with you, by then I'm trying to figure out whether I want to spend the rest of my life with you. If marriage is on the table, kids are on the table. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about marriage and life in a relationship like a business, right? Because at the end of
So
the day,
you
if I
don't
work,
date, you just court. You court, right? You
I
like
look,
you court
I
partner.
court and date.
Okay.
Depends on the person and the
Right,
situation.
right.
Because as
Gotcha.
a Muslim in America, every American woman doesn't respect courting.
Right, right.
You get what I'm saying? So that's
No,
that's
I
also
totally
a thing you have
understand.
to
Yeah.
deal with. So that's the thing I have to deal with. So I date and I court. I know that's not right, but I do it.
Right.
So
The ice
But
cream,
you
the ice
acknowledge
cream
that.
date, the
so
ice cream date. You know that shit. It ain't enough. It ain't enough for some of them, and they don't realize that you're trying to do this shit like court, like to get to know somebody. You know.
But he got a whole different value and moral structure, like trying to fulfill his fulfill his deen and all of that. So that's some stuff that secular people like outside of Islam don't have to or don't think about and don't have to deal with. But I'm glad you said that, brother. Like, because that's and then the awkwardness of trying to weave between like the Western society norms and your own spiritual principle norms. That's tricky. And like you said, like I mean, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to just court and all this stuff. But that's not no. That's what's up, man. It's difficult.
You
It
got to
it
be
is difficult.
ambidextrous with it. Yeah.
man, I just feel like it's all about learning and adapting and like figuring out what works for you and then like applying that to your life. And like it's all about really what makes you a better person because everybody doesn't believe in God. Everybody doesn't believe in the same
Yeah.
God, even though it's all God. You call it whatever you want. So whatever
Right.
makes you a better person at the end of the day, like do what you gotta do, but like stay upright and stay focused. Like
Right.
that's what I said earlier about being in a relationship. If anytime you in a relationship and you can't grow or learn or be somebody better, then you shouldn't be there because that person's always going to keep you stagnant in that place forever. You stymied forever
Right.
until you learn that this is not for me and I need to grow past that, or until something ugly happens and you have no choice but to go somewhere else and figure that out.
Well, to answer the question about how long it took, and this is when I was much younger, so my needs were a lot different, and my wants were a lot different. But 3 days, 3 motherfucking days. That shit lasted for about 8-9 months because another opportunity came around. So I was in there and out of there, and on to the next. But that was out for me at the time. That was out of necessity for me. At least I thought it was. It was out of necessity. I didn't have anywhere to go. You know what I'm saying? So
4 years.
huh? 4 years?
4 years.
Oh shit.
4 months.
4 months.
Is it, like it's I feel like some low key like people kind of already be living with a girl when they dating her in a sense because like for y'all hanging out, right? Let's say you got your own place. If you got your own place, that girl's coming over there probably. Y'all probably watching movies and spending the night together, and then she goes to work, and y'all see each other later. Like
Oh,
that
that's
shit kind
called
of be happening
babysitting.
in relationships.
That's called babysitting
Yeah,
because you get to leave, you get to go away.
yeah. No.
Yes.
Yeah, when them kids get on your nerves, yeah, send them home. I'm ready to go. I'm done with this.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she live with you. Ain't no going away. You got to go somewhere. You got to call your man. Hey, let me sleep on your couch tonight.
Yeah, that part.
That's for me. That's the defining difference for me. It's like you dating, yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
if y'all ain't living together, you can always escape
Yeah,
into your own space where you
Yeah.
don't deal with it.
facts.
Yeah,
I
and
was,
I think, but I think also when it is like that, it could increase the chances of like the situation not going on further, because once you like in a situation where like the chick moved into your house already or something like that, like you kind of know you're on another level and you're working it out a little bit better. But when y'all are living in the separate houses, it's real quick to just be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, what you got a pair of pants and some socks over there, like you can easily just leave and get your space. And people tend to sometimes not come back to that because it's like, fuck it, we don't even live together. Um, for me though, and this may sound crazy, but it was literally like on the first day that which ended up being the mother of my girls. But when I went to California and I met her that day in person, I started living there that day. So it was like day one, but I didn't go there with that intent. I went to just go try to start my life in Cali, but it just so happened that way. Um, and that lasted 11 or 12 years.
hmm.
Um, so yeah, for me, it was like literally day one.
Yeah, but like as you get older in life, you know what I'm saying. Like for where I stand right now, if I had my own crib right now and shit, it would take some hell of a shit for me to have a motherfucker move in. It would take some. She'd have to be one hell of a bitch because I don't think I could. I don't know, man. I don't know about all that. Because if she
Yeah.
come over, I'm gonna need you to leave. Whenever we're done doing what we're doing, I'm gonna need you to leave.
Because you wouldn't want to be entertaining that shit. Like one of my cousins, we have talks about dating, and he's just like, and I'm like, bruh, what if it's been 6 or 7 months and you just keep seeing this girl? Like, you're not like super into her. He's like, nah, man. And he's like, I could just walk away from them. And so people got like in my mind, I'm like, shit, I can't walk away from something, not like from one moment to the next, someone I'm talking to for 6 or 7 months. But I think he just has that wall up because he's been through so much. In his relationship with his ex-wife and their marriage, shit was so fucked up that I think now he's literally like, nope, not gonna attach. No one's gonna live with me. I'm just doing me,
Kind of
dating, and I don't give a fuck
my
if it's
point.
eight,
Yeah,
10 months later. I'll walk away from you.
yeah, that was kind of my point. I'm not saying I'm opposed to anything, but like on some real shit. Like if I had to walk away, man, like shit, man, I ain't trying to. There's too much to be invested, really, at the age that I am. If a motherfucker ain't coming into this shit like on some real ass shit, I am not trying to hear it because there's too much to be invested for me. You know what I'm saying? For me, and I don't feel there's time is not on the side. Time is not on my side, so to speak. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
as far
And I think that's
as
why
far
my
as
dad married how he married
as
because
far
of
as
that
my
same
tolerance, as far
situation.
as time is not on my side, as far as tolerance. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Hmm. Anybody else got shit to say? God damn. I thought maybe this shit would have been a little more thought provoking. Maybe that it is too thought provoking right now. Motherfuckers is in their heads right now. I don't know. But love is a motherfucker though.
Shit's truly unpredictable, I think, still, because even though we could sit here and learn lessons about this topic that we're talking about, love or straightening out your love, you don't know what's gonna happen. You could, Christian could walk to the liquor store tomorrow morning and just run into the love of his life and shit. Like, like I don't know. I think like sometimes it's not planned. It don't happen all the time like that, but shit, people fall in love like that, man. It just happens from, you don't expect it. It's just gonna happen.
But
I
you
don't
think
think
you think that
none of the relationships in my life I ever had were like I planned this shit. I planned it out and this and this and this. Like I don't know. It's kind of because I was maybe building blood love blindly, but yeah, I never planned none of that
you
shit.
could
I
be
was just like,
unconsciously seeking shit. And that's why when you met that person, you bumped into that person and just fell in love with them because you're unconsciously seeking, that type of attention or that type of fucking, I don't know, partnership or whatever in the fuck. Because me personally, I don't think I'm gonna bump into somebody and just fall the fucking love with them unless I'm seeking, you know what I'm saying?
Well, the
Someone.
key thing Gid said was he was just he was ready to build the rest of his life.
Right.
And he was about to, and then if someone is aligned with that at that time or like inspired by that, that's like, oh, dope. Like, so then there's a spark because like, dang, you hype because I'm about to build my shit and you about to build your shit. Let's build and da 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 da. All of that stuff starts momentum. It's all momentum.
Would you think
Like that's the thing.
if it's let's build, you think that's more of a business agreement?
I mean, if you're talking about it, I don't use that term with it. Like I think that's like a bait and switch when you talk about it like it's a business agreement. Like we're not in a communist country, so everything that we do is a business decision. It's either a good business decision or bad business. I'm not a communist, so everything that we this ain't China. You know what I'm saying? So everything we do is a business decision.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry. Everything.
That's like a woman saying, if your credit score ain't 760, I ain't fucking with you.
Or what was she saying? Or was she saying, I made $58,000 this year. If you ain't making $58,000, it's like people got. That's why motherfuckers are so interchangeable now. Like I know it's kind of like cliche. We just keep saying that love isn't how it used to be with like our grandparents, but that was different love, and now it's a whole
That
different
shit was
fucking love.
always
Like
that's game. That shit was always transactional, dog.
It's accessibility too, because nowadays it's just like for some people's mentalities. Oh, I don't like that this person does this. Buy left, block, canceled, and then you just start swiping right and keep your fucking. And people they're quick to drop you. Like there's not that. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like in 60 years. It's gonna be a whole bunch of single fucking 80-year-olds in 50 years.
Say what?
I said because of how love is now, I think like in fucking 50 years it's gonna be a bunch of single 75-year-olds and shit. Fucking men,
They'll
women,
have the
like
highest STD rate because that's what the motherfuckers do when they get that age and they live in them fucking homes and shit. They are fucking like rabbits. No, it's true. They have very high STD rates. Very high.
That's because they don't clean themselves. They old and they don't clean themselves properly.
Damn, man. Come on now.
Look, can I digress for a moment and go back to the point y'all made earlier about marriage and shit?
Yeah.
Transactional, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I feel like if marriage and relationships weren't transactional, then why do I feel like if I fall in love with you and marry you, does the law tell me that if your credit score is fucked up and your life been fucked up, but I worked hard my whole life, that your shit affects mine, and now I'm responsible for your debts and bills and all that? It's all business and transactional, like he was saying. Everything in America is that. So some people, I'm gonna say I'm one of these people. I look at like that's one of the ways I choose somebody. Like, okay, you met the first couple of stages. All right, well, where's your credit score at? Because mine's is here. Your shit can't be below mine. It don't got to be way above mine, but it can't be below mine. Because I know that when we get married, the law says that we have to attach these things. And if I have business goals and business dreams, I can't have you with a 460 because you bad and I love you. You the dopest one ever, fucking my dreams up. I'll wait to marry you.
Yeah, get your credit score up.
I'll help you build your shit up and wait to marry you because it's a business.
It's true.
But I'm glad he said I'll wait to marry you, and that implies that I'm gonna help you get your shit together. We gonna help you get your shit together.
Build.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when people say like yo, a lot of times when people say your credit score ain't popping, you know what I'm saying? Then like I can't fuck with you if your credit score is this. I mean that's. Again, your values, that's what people are on. And I'm not judging nobody's values. You know what I'm saying? It just, when you say it this way, it's not as romantic and it's not. It doesn't sound like, oh, it sounds so, like words like you just said, like
Sounds clinical. It sounds
transactional
very
and
clinical.
all of this.
That goes back to your point earlier
Yeah,
about
and
romanticizing everything. Life isn't romantic. So if I want to get
Sure
to
the
the
fuck
nitty
ain't.
gritty of life and I want to figure out what's real, let's have a real conversation about what affects us for real.
facts, facts, and it doesn't undercut like the love that we can develop with each other.
Facts.
Man, my Indian homies that are like Hindu and my Muslim partners, they are all like they love their wives and love their husbands. You know what I'm saying? And half of them like that shit was arranged. You know what I'm saying? Even like most of my Muslim partners, they had like a crew of people that was like, yo, trying to be a community, trying to be supportive for them to fulfill their deen. And it's like, yo, this motherfucker right here, link up and they court, and it's like, oh yeah, I fucks with
Do you
this
think
person.
do you
You
think
know?
that the structure and the stability of having people like that helps build that foundational love?
Yes. Yeah, it helps. It absolutely helps. If you got a good crew and core, it does help. But when you like fashion your like it's bad math, yo. It's just bad math. If it's like, okay, I'm gonna randomly meet someone. Like most people, like I can't date nobody at the job because we got human resources said we can't court. So you spend 8 hours with these motherfuckers a day. So I can't holler at that person. And then like everybody I hang out with is the homies. But if I hang out with a homegirl, then she, chances are she done been with one of the homies. So it's like, okay, and then that's no go. And all of it, is all of this stuff is just it's just bad math. And so we're expected to go to these random places and meet these random people and roll the dice. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And our community's not helping us.
Hmm.
Our community's not helping us.
Or
When
family,
it's all
family
transactional, and
that too.
that's the
Yeah,
family. If they're a part of your community, sometimes our family's not a part of our community. But
right,
if your
right,
family's a part of our community, like yeah, so communities helping it, like, but like if we talk about it in these non-romanticized terms, everybody's turned off because it's not sexy and it's not beautiful, and we're shooting ourselves in the foot. And at the end of the day, that shit is all bad math. It's
right,
not adding up.
right. Hmm. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack and a lot to unravel in all of it. You know what I'm saying? A lot to think about. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, we rolling on that time. So as we always do, last words, and we're gonna start this way, go around, and then hit D Nick, and then Jizzo, and then myself. Last thoughts.
Modern man is so much a part of a crowd, he's dying of personal loneliness. And that's not my quote. I can't remember who quoted that. I think
Can
it's
you
Benjamin
can you repeat
Franklin
it
and
one more
Albert
time?
Einstein.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Modern man is so much a part of a crowd, he's dying of personal loneliness.
Hmm.
Mm.
Interesting. Cam, last thoughts.
Um, it's a lot. Like all that's just a lot to take in. I mean, if anyone was paying attention, I mean, for me, it's a lot of valuable information to where like I'm going to use to pick my partner and people that I talk to because um I tend to move fast sometimes. So I think that tonight's message was a pretty dope message and it was something that I needed. So appreciate that.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's the same thing for me, low high key. It's just a lot that to think over, a lot to digest. Um, I can say for sure, make sure you love yourself first. That's where it starts. Make sure you know what you're about. So when you go to choose a life partner or decide to fall in love, you're making wiser decisions as good as anybody can be. Like we said, there's no rule book, there's no play by play or manual. So we could all just do our best, but love yourself, get some love in your life. Love is good.
Yeah. Shout out to Maria Bindana. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. She says there's very little respect in relationships nowadays. Yeah, well, societal shit. You know what I'm saying? D Nick?
Man, I'm piggyback off the brother. He said you loving yourself, but that is developed. You got to learn to love yourself. You got to, be a hugger, acknowledge, embrace, so you can let go of some things. And so in loving yourself, you got to learn how to love yourself. You got to learn how to, physical, spiritual and mental. And that's a process. No matter the pace, what forget everybody's judgment of the pace. You know what I'm saying? But it is a process. And sometimes, more times than not, it's helpful to have a process and be able to identify a process, whether it's working for you or not. And if it's not working for you, we have the ability to rewrite the rules so we can develop our own process and we can try it. So it's all a process and it's all a practice. You know what I'm saying? So love is a feeling and impulse developed from a habit. Love is a feeling or emotion developed from a habit. So what is your habits? And that's it. God bless. Ja
Yes,
Rastafari.
sir. Yes, sir. Yo,
Peace, peace.
Diplo.
I like what you said, Nick, about in your final thought about if it, if it's not right, then it's not right, and you do what you got to do. And that's basically what I was in the end my shit was saying, as far as like straight. You got me saying straighten, straightening out your love. Only you know what you got to do in your situation. Only you know, bro. You're the only one. Like people could give you their opinions or whatever, but you know your own situation. And if it's not working out for you, then you do what you got to do. If there's things you're not willing to accept, you have to do what you got to do, and do it without without having to feel bad for it. If it's something that you're doing to straighten out your love, to do what you got to do, man. So it's possible. Peace out to everybody, man, and salute to you, brothers.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna end it all out, but just gonna rant here real quick. Uh, love is a fucking seems like it's an unpeelable onion at times. You know what I'm saying? There's so many layers to the shit. There's so many thoughts. There's societal shit. There's inner shit. There's their shit. It's your shit together. It's compromise. It's sacrifice. It's a lot of things. But I don't think you can give any of that shit to anybody if you are not starting with self. Sometimes it takes us a little bit longer, some of us to get there than others. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. It's the steps, it's the execution, as we say a lot. You know what I mean? Follow your shit, learn yourself. I say that, learn yourself right now. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be able to understand and know what you want to love and how you want to go about being loved. You know, that's really it. Sometimes it takes us longer than others, just like D Nick said. It's the process, and some get there faster than others. Some don't. It is what it is. But be self-aware, man. Be self-aware. Love yourself. Spend time with yourself before you spend time with somebody else, man. Mentally, at least. You know what I mean? With that being said, this has been the check-in. We'll see you next Sunday, man. 8:30, man. We out of here, man. Love all you guys, man. Thank you so much for being on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Peace.
And we out.